skies opened on race morning, and rain hit the circuit for the 22nd round of this Master Cup season. On the pole is Melanie Klaven of Switzerland, setting a new track record in the process. Leonid Roderick of North Chicago on the outside of the front row in his Volpe. Row 2, Arto Kekkonen and Luciano Salvarol are trying to narrow Adrian Devereaux's points lead. Gasper de Souza starts on the outside of Devereaux in row 3. Dwyer from Minnesota and Kurt Pliskin trying to escape from 8th starting position. Henton, a good qualifying effort along with Cameron Taylor. Rossini trying to get another win on a street circuit, and Greg Woodard. Tom Delgado in the 3rd Lennard with Carlos Urqueta. The EFR boys in row 8, Scott Stoidler and Packer Carroll trying to make some more gains this season. Nasova nearly won the last round. Chris Davenport looking fast all week. Ryan Matthews and Chris Johans in row 11. Andersson and Frank Azure have been looking fairly strong all week. And then there you see Serrano, the TM Lights hot shoe. Yanni Savin making a run at home in car 91. Taub looking a bit faster than usual in the Vernstrom. And John Dilks has now moved over to car 92 for the balance of the season. Kurt Reynolds and Benoit Vukler. In row 18, Scheiter and Short, Dan McKay, Joe Rodriguez. Connor Friel makes his debut in the series. Zelda Ashby was given a penalty and sent to the back of the grid. And so was Eric Jackson. But we have 43 cars starting because Jackson got within 110%. The penalty for Zelda Ashby, I should point out, was for blocking in qualifying. As Clavino leads the field into the turn 1, looking at Arto Kekkonen in the 9 car. They're 4 wide. Kekkonen sweeps around the outside of Clavino. Kekkonen has been the fastest car all weekend by some margin. We've got a big jam up back here. Davina Henton gets into Rossini. New liveries on the Volpes, you'll notice, in cars 3 and 4. Greg Woodard was involved in that. Cameron Taylor. There appears to be more drama on the back because Lewis Kingston looks like he may have gotten a bump from Ben Atkins. Danny Savin, nowhere to go. E.B. Mara, nowhere to go. Joel Rodriguez slips through. Jams up the back of the field. And that's why you don't want to qualify badly, especially here. Dan McKay trying to make some positions up. Here's Adrian Devereaux in car 7. He's had a lot of misfortune in the last couple of weeks, probably more than we would have expected from him. He was in control of this race last year, but broke down very late on after controlling the event. Kevin Dwyer moving up in car 8, the yellow car. Luciano Salvarol right behind him. Now, Kevin Dwyer doesn't really have any interest in the championship. He wants to win the race, but his teammate is probably one of Adrian Devereaux's top challengers. Now here's Tom Delgado, the American Devil, Tom Delgado in his brand new Tirade livery. A bit of an awkward color palette, but they managed to make a solid livery out of it. Props for some eye candy, but that 37 car looking pretty good. Delgado's been competitive all weekend. So maybe Tom Delgado, of course, got the promoter's option because he is just crowned the ASCC champion. There you see Kevin Dwyer moving past. Here is Cameron Taylor in the 6 car. And Henton makes a bold move with Woodard, and around goes Cameron Taylor and is collected by his old ride. That's a bit of a sketchy penalty, but I can understand it. Race director Ryan Reinhardt did tell everyone he was going to be cracking down on penalties after the last few races were a bit sloppy, by his own words. We'll see what that means. Scott Bates in the 88 car has been... he faces possible elimination from the championship contention, even though he has been on a hot streak lately. Roderick into the wall! Roderick brushed the wall in the 4 car, and I don't think he wanted that. Adrian Devereaux right behind him, I think, probably has skid marks in his driver's suit, as Ian Cooper in that green car making moves, and Gasper de Souza in the KLTV distinctive teal color. Roderick throwing a block on Adrian Devereaux behind him. This is madness on the opening few laps. Ian Cooper, 73 car. Not exactly, this is not a track this team was actually looking that they'd be doing very well on, as Clavino, I believe, has hit the wall. Yes, she has. Salvarol's in the wall. Luciano Salvarol hits the wall. Clavino's done a lot of damage to the left side of the Aratel ride. That's going to really hamper her all race long. Melanie Clavino looked like may have cracked under pressure. Slid wide, aquaplaned into the wall, but that has been a corner that a lot of people have been worried about. Roderick into the pits in the 4 car. That looks a bit early. Here's John Dilks in the 92 car. He's up to 15th. Now, that's amusing livery to say the least. But when you have a car with not a lot of horsepower, the rain actually is going to equalize things. Actually, it might be in John Dilks' favor, because that car will be easy to control as the EFR boys have tripped over each other. Oh, no! Don't want to do that. I think that was probably not anyone's fault. That looked like what happens when you hit the brakes and you aquaplane in rain conditions, especially over there, because that is an uphill corner. And is he gonna... Yeah, you might want to let him back through and try to get that one cleanly this time. As Ian Cooper lets his teammate go back past him. And now, Taub in the 21. He's up to 19th. 19th, and Vernstrom is incredible. And Ben Atkins been running well. Taub is slid sideways into Atkins. Oh, and he gets hit by Rodriguez, and he rolls it over. Dan McKay into the wall. Scheiter into the wall. Ashby slides wide. I guarantee you that was caused by that painted line right there, because that's right about where everyone there lost grip. So Taub out of it early, but gets that car rolled over without having to throw a red flag, thankfully. Arto Kekkonen, as you can see, leading the way with Scott Bates second. Now we've noticed Connor Friel and John Dilks and Dan McKay, the Maximus car, is actually looking very formidable out there right now. And oh no! That's Kurt Pliskin into Ryan Matthews. Bit of an ambitious move there. That looked like maybe a racing incident. Kevin Dwyer trying to get around. Oh, no! Dwyer to the back of the Susie. It's all gone madness out there right now. All gone to madness. And they're losing tons of positions out there. Not that many, actually. But now, there's Eric Jackson in the 97 car. New car for DJ Motorsports. Makes a move on Pliskin. He gets into the 16 and he hits the wall. Oh, the irony. If you know anything about DJ Motorsports' sponsorship and who he just ran into, Eric Jackson, of course, former driver in the series, has a bunch of top fives to his name, never won a race, but Jackson was brought in. Dalton Johnson brought Jackson in because Jackson thought he owed Dalton Johnson a favor to help get his team off the ground. John Dilks is running in 9th. Yes, you heard that right. John Dilks, 9th. In this 92 car that has not had a good run pretty much all year. They've only been able to pick up table scraps like they were able to do in Carbondale earlier this year. Delgado is running just ahead of that battle, as here is Roderick in the car number 4. He's well down the field now. Scoring a bit hard to keep track of because so many people are making pit stops for all sorts of problems. As now Arto Kekkonen is beginning to catch Packer Carroll. I believe Carroll's been into the pits already in that 18 car. Carroll lets him go without a problem. That's Rodriguez in front of him. Now I wonder what Packer Carroll... Oh, Rodriguez throws the block on Arto Kekkonen. They were former teammates at what was Flash Racing at the time. I don't think they got along all that well. Anyways, Kekkonen gets by Rodriguez. I'm not saying, I'm not going to apportion blame on whose fault that relationship was, but we'll leave that as it is. Pliskin making a move on Nasova, and they're both trying to track down the Octane 73 car. Me and Cooper, who looks like he's a bit of a sitting duck right now, because the only thing that he seems to be doing is keeping people away from the 88 car. Good teammate, and he's pitting. Okay, maybe not. Well, it takes just a minute for me to be proven wrong, I see. And Scott Bates... Oh, no! The 88 lost it! Scott Bates lost it on the final corner. I think he might have been trying to get into the pits, and... Oh, that's a big mistake from Scott Bates. You don't see that often, but it looks like he hasn't hurt the car that badly. Then again, Scott Bates... to say he's a talented driver would be an understatement. He's one of the older drivers in the series, but he still has the car control of a much younger man. As here we see, 3 wide, going uphill, Kevin Dwyer. He's got a penalty, but no, oh no! No! Oh! Kevin Dwyer, I think he's letting ambition get to his head. He's trying to make up for a time penalty, which nobody has really done in this series yet. Not a good day for Kevin Dwyer already. Kekkonen in lap traffic. That's the Lennard boys. Luciano has been in the... Oh, no, they're holding him up. And Luciano Savarol and Cameron Taylor. Luciano trying to help his championship. He took a swipe at him. Took a swipe at his title rival. And, oh, Cameron Taylor just hit him. Taylor just puts Kekkonen in the wall as Savoral pits the 5 car. Oh, Cameron Taylor blasts the champagne over to him, I suppose, for a good teammate, if nothing else, but that didn't look clean at all. And oh, D'Souza emerges from the pit lane, and it's pandemonium out here. Absolute madness. Kekkonen nearly swiped out, but I don't see any investigation into this. Look at that. Savoral moves over into the 9 car, and then the 6 doesn't really look like he even tries to make that corner cleanly, and just punts poor Arto Kekkonen out of the way. And oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of angry people down at Carl Richter's end of the pit lane. I can guarantee that. Kingston into the back of the 9 car, but that looked like he was just trying to not get pummeled by the 60 car who was leaving the pits. I think Kingston was looking in his mirror more than his windshield, which not exactly the best thing to do at times. Hector Serrano, the Mexican, TM Lights, hot shoe, driving for the Ortegas, and he's put it in the wall. I was just going to say, he has been leading the TM Lights Championship most of the season there. Oh, and he's been hit by Stoitler, who probably didn't have anywhere to go and was blindsided. But Serrano is the 3rd driver in 3 races for that team. He will be running the next race in Chicago with that same outfit. But I'd look out for Serrano in the future. He was having a good run. He was running 11th. Rossini lets John Dilks go by. Not a good day for Alessandro Rossini so far, and for a Volpe Racing team. Oh, the 92 is gone! John Dilks has put it in the wall! John Dilks! Gonna see if we can get a better look at it. No, John Dilks did not touch Rossini. I thought that maybe Dilks had cut a left front tire, maybe, by running into Rossini, and we can't see from here whether or not he touched the 15 car. I don't think he did. We got one more angle of it. But that is a big disappointment because John Dilks had a fantastic run going at the left side of that car. Oh, he was trying. John Dilks, I think, just realized what kind of run he had going. Trying a bit too hard, perhaps, and put it in the wall. That is such a shame for John Dilks. But I can tell you one thing, even though that looks fairly terminal damage, he is done.
I think I just ran over a brick.
Oh. Oh, that doesn't sound... That might be someone's ballast on the racetrack, and that's going to definitely get race control's attention. But John Dilks made himself look like a hero just for that, just for his efforts in what he was able to make today. But that brick on track... Now, these cars... Oh, Delgado out of the pit lane into Benoit Vukler. Spins him around. Delgado shakes his fist at him. Now, Delgado... I would not want to have Tom Delgado shake his fist at me because, of course, Tom Delgado... at one point was a boxer. He did win the ASCC championship recently, winning the final over Mike Whitmore and Ethan Everett. And here is Melanie Clavino in car number 2, having a fairly disastrous run, but she's been able to claw her way back up to 26th position. Greg Woodard challenging her forward, and Woodard spins the 2 car! Greg Woodard spins Clavino around, coming down the back straightaway. That did not look like... Oh boy. Greg Woodard in car 41. There must have been something going on between these two that we didn't see, because Clavino and Woodard had been fairly close to each other on track for some time. Now, the ballast on TM Master Cup Series cars, you have to use they are mandated to be these kind of blocks. So if one falls out of your car, that is a grounds for disqualification if the officials deem that it was not mounted properly. And here is Chris Johans, and Johans spins the 12 car, and he misses the wall. So I think Chris Johans may have been trying to come into the pit lane a little bit quicker and shave off time that way. And Chris Johans just barely missed the wall, so he might have gotten away with most. Oh no, he's gotten punted by Salvarol. There's pandemonium in turn 1. Oh, Nasova Roderick involved. Danny Savin in the 91. Eric Jackson and Dan McKay coming through. There's the leader right behind all of this, too, so this has been a complete mess. I believe Kekkonen just went into the pits, actually, that we may have missed because there was chaos in turn 1, so we'll see what happened here. Danny Savin lost it on his own. Nasova joined that mess. There's Roderick, had nowhere to go. Dan McKay, Dan McKay did Roderick a favor. Dan McKay runs into the 4 car, but knocks him pointed the right way again. So, anyways, Carlos Urqueta in the 14 car has been able to steadily move his way through the field. I don't see too many marks on this car. So the Colombian could be in a position to steal another win here. He did win earlier in the year at Grand Detour, and he has been fairly quick most of the season. He's outpaced his more experienced teammate Evgeny Kuznetsov, but Kuznetsov has been more dependable than Urqueta on a number of occasions. But as of right now, Urqueta leads the race. Nasova and Kekkonen second and third. I do believe Urqueta may be the only car other than this 88 car that'll actually no. There's marks on the 88 car as well that don't have really a scratch on them. The 7 car, Adrian Devereaux. I don't see much damage on that car, but he had a fairly long first pit stop. As you see there, surprisingly, there's not many retirements yet. Packer Carroll has worked his way up into the top 10, chasing Joe Olenek for position. But you want to talk about 2 guys that are making heroes of themselves in underpowered cars. Exhibit A is Packer Carroll. What a move! Packer Carroll around Joe Olenek. Don't talk about 2 potential stars of the future. I'd say Packer Carroll, but I think Packer Carroll may be leaving that team. But that's only because he could be bringing his own team up. Now, that could be an interesting situation there, with Packer Carroll bringing his very formidable junior league team, Gravity Racing, up into the series, possibly for an Independence Trophy ride, for an Independence Trophy bid, as now Olenek doing battle with Axel Andersson of Sweden. Andersson going around the 23 car, and oh no, he almost loses it, but he's able to bring it into the pits. Good car control from Andersson. A lot of people have spun it on the paint today. More than I think we've been able to catch. Adrian Devereaux doing battle with a lap car and Kevin Dwyer. I don't think Kevin Dwyer realizes he's a couple of laps down. Oh, Devereaux's lost it! He's lost it! He's put it in the wall! Big! This could have championship implications. Devereaux's slowing on track. He's got Packer Carroll going by him in the 18 car. Adrian Devereaux trying to limp that thing back to the pit lane, and Carroll has lost it in the last corner. Ooh. And oh! Joe Olenek nearly piled into the back of Packer Carroll, who I think was just trying to get out of the racing line. Can't proportion blame on Carroll for that. Oh, easy boys. It's slippery out there, but I don't think they need me to tell them that. This 18 car, Packer Carroll's doing a good job just on pace, which is something I don't think I've really been able to say about him for quite some time, since Cariala possibly. Dan McKay in the 95, Nasova in the 10. Nasova puts McKay in the wall. No! Ian Cooper into the back of Dan McKay. Wasn't able to slow it down in time. Nasova's gotten around Kekkonen. Fastest car on the track, car number 10. Now, this has been a tricky passing, so Kekkonen's got the preferred line. This could end in tears, and it doesn't. Oh, that tire wall does look awfully inviting, doesn't it? Coming up that uphill turn is not exactly too many people's friend is. Now, Kekkonen makes a move on Urqueta for the race lead, nearly puts him in the wall, puts himself in the wall, and Kekkonen regains the lead. Now, what we saw is Arto Kekkonen making up for all the ground that his pit crew generally loses in each pit stop. Which is not something we can say so far this year. The Gesslers have been horrible in pit stops for most of the season. As E.B. Mera, who's emerged as one of the more popular and one of the more gentlemanly drivers, he's been very fan accessible in the 75 car. Oh! Been also he was in the pits earlier. If they opened the hood on that car, that's why he's a couple laps down. And as you saw there, he just took out poor Benoit Vogler and himself. Peter Short in the Vernstrom with no hood on and running in 16th. I didn't see exactly why they had to pull the hood off, but they did. Well, he shouldn't have any overheating problems. But he's now trying to get around the 55 of Ashby, who's made a pretty decent recovery. Speaking of decent recoveries, here's debutant Connor Friel, who after about lap 14 or so, looked like he picked up quite a few positions, and he's been about half a second quicker a lap since about midway through about the early second pit stop. So I almost wonder if that ballast that Chris Davenport apparently ran over, whether or not that came from the 94 car. The officials have not been able to go out and retrieve it because they aren't able to get local yellows out where they think it is. And not only that, when it's raining, there's a dark gray brick like that sitting around the middle of the track. It's going to be a little hard to see. Connor Friel, though, he's a road racer. He has a road racing background. He will, however, be at the next... we do believe he has got another promoter's option in his back pocket for a run in that 94 car. Here's Chris Davenport, who's worked his way up to 7th. Now, when I mentioned there were a couple of cars without a mark on them, I believe I neglected Chris Davenport, despite running over someone's ballast, having a solid run today. Chris Davenport could be turning a new page here. Melanie Clavin over to the pits in the 2 car. She's had a disaster of a race so far. Arto Käkkinen is continuing to stretch his advantage. He has disappeared from 2nd place, Carlos Urqueta. And Arto Käkkinen looks like he has this race well and truly under control. Looked like Gravis City, doesn't it? Let's hope let's see if Arto Käkkinen's race falls apart as painfully as it did in Gravis City, as Kurt Pliskin is slow on track. He's going about as slow as the sponsor on that car. And he's not going backwards, so I guess that's one thing he and his sponsor don't have in common. Apologies to all New Jersey Devils fans. Arto Käkkinen, in the meantime, has just got by... Oh, no! Kevin, what are you doing? Käkkinen was going into the pits and he got punted by his teammate! Kevin Dwyer, what are you doing? What was that? I don't know if Käkkinen may be slow before Dwyer could react in time. And oh no, he's in the wall again! He's in it again! Arto Käkkinen, is it all falling apart now? Oh my goodness! He's got one more stint to go. His teammate lets him through. I think he was deciding to dive into the pits, slid it sideways, and then his teammate punted him. So that was going to be an accident anyway. Apologies to Kevin Dwyer. But is it all falling apart now? Because look how much ground. You may not have seen the 14 in the background, but Urqueta gained so much ground on him. And then he threw it in the wall in turn 1 all on his own. There goes Urqueta. Yes, that was the 14, so he's lost the lead. Oh no! It's happening again! Now he's got to chase down the 14 and repair quite a bit of damage to the 9 car. As Urqueta enters the pits with the lead, there is Käkkinen in the background. He's got to deal with some pit road traffic as well. Oh, Kevin Dwyer, you may be in the doghouse if Käkkinen's not able to pull this one out, and Dwyer's in the wall, Friel's in the wall, and Kurt Reynolds in the 39, who's been having a miserable race. Dwyer climbs out of that car. He's furious, probably wet himself, and I believe at this point you have a right to be mad at yourself. Andersson, car 74, still having a quiet run in the Mitchell & Son 74. Those cars are looking pretty strong today, as is Joe Olenek. Team Star USA, I believe, admitted that they were hoping it was going to rain on race day because their dry setup was, in the words of team manager Rick Milligan, as Joel Rodriguez hits the fence, their dry setup was hopeless. There's one look at the running order, and Käkkinen, see there, P3. So, not out of the woods yet, but I'd say he does have an uphill battle ahead of him. Kind of has to get around the 88 and the race leader, Urqueta, but there is another car on track that is as fast as the 9, and that is the 10. Nisova has been dynamite early in these fuel and tire runs, but there's very weak pace in the middle of the stint, but beginning and end of the fuel stints, the 10 has looked very, very fast. Here is Urqueta. He's got just about 6 laps to go. Oh, no! You never put a foot wrong, and then you do that! But Urqueta's got such a massive lead, he might be okay, but he's going to have to hold off Scott Bates, Arto Käkkinen, Yulia Nisova, all of whom are bearing down on him fast. So, with with things the way they are, here's Yulia Nasova in the 10 car, getting around Eric Jackson in the 10. Bates and Käkkinen, nose to tail. They're both slowing each other up, but they're now reeling in the 14 car. There's the 88 sliding a bit wide. Käkkinen not able to take advantage. Here is now Käkkinen's trying to get around Scott Bates. Scott Bates trying to retake that position. And with these two doing battle like this, that's exactly what Ricciardo wants to see, because there's a potential that they might run into each other, trip over each other, and potentially take themselves out of contention. Carlos Ricciardo only looking for a win. Käkkinen looking for a win so that he can secure a solid run at Adrian Devereaux for the championship. Adrian Devereaux, in the meantime, falling way, way back in the 7 car. Scott Bates having a run at the 9 car. Bates makes a move on the inside. I believe he's made it stick. And yes, he has. Scott Bates from Oklahoma gotten around Arto Käkkinen in the 14 slow, the top of the hill. Here comes the 88. Scott Bates trying to make his 3rd win of the year. I don't think Bates is going to be mathematically eligible for the championship still after this race, but he's certainly making a good contest out of it as Scott Bates takes over the lead of the race with just 4 laps to go. As now Käkkinen makes a move around the 14 car, and he's got it. Arto Käkkinen gets around Ricciardo. Now he can set his sights on the 88 car of Scott Bates. Nasova has just set fastest lap of the race. Nasova is coming fast. It's a similar situation in which Nasova won in France a few years ago in one of the most thrilling finishes on record. Frank Azure, one of the heroes of Gravis City, has moved his way into the top 10 in car 46. He's currently running in 9th. Pat on the back and round of applause to the FAC Motorsports team and this 46 car, because this is a thrilling run for him. And for the 4-time world champion Peter Short, if he stays where he is right now, he will get a massive load of points in this Bergstrom, but he is, I do believe, off pit cycle, and he may not stay there. Nasova has gotten around the Katsev, and she is now setting her sights on Käkkinen and Scott Bates. Currently, this 10 car still resets fastest lap of the race. She's flying right now. The Russian veteran is on the charge to take the lead take second and the lead away from Käkkinen and Scott Bates. Here comes the Finn around the 88 car. Is he going to be able to make it stick around the outside? No, maybe. Side by side. Ooh, no. Not able to make it stick right here, but all this side by side through here, neither one of them is able to get the preferred line through those corners, and therefore, whereas Nasova is, and she's making up that much more ground that way, and she's right there. Look at that, that blue and white car, Nasova. Käkkinen has the lead, but for how long? Lap traffic ahead, Dan McKay to the inside, he's of no threat, he pulls over. Scott Bates retakes the lead in the 88, Nasova takes second in car 10. Coming on Packer Carroll now. Scott Bates on the inside of Nasova. And Scott Bates trying to hold off Nasova by boxing her behind Carroll. Looks like it's worked. No, it hasn't. Nasova's got to run on the inside of Scott Bates. She boxes him behind Packer Carroll. Nasova to the lead. Scott Bates falls into second. Käkkinen falling behind. As now, we've got just 2 laps to go. Nasova leading in car number 10. They're coming now behind Luciano Savarol in the Lennard. And along with him, looks like Andersson, and I couldn't make out who the other car is. Nasova stuck in lap traffic, but they're all battling for position out there. That's Cameron Taylor. I believe that's a battle for position anyway. Nasova having a run. Now she's got the 88 and the 9 are lined up. They're going to try to take a run, and Nasova's wide. Look out, look out. Oh, she keeps it off the wall right now. Oh boy, the Lennards are doing battle with each other. They're actually racing each other. They're coming on another lap car, the Tutino of Ben Adkins. And Nasova trying to blend in with traffic. But they're all racing each other. They don't know the leaders behind them, or if they do, they're not paying attention. She's got Scott Bates on the outside, Cameron Taylor into Nasova, and Cameron Taylor's putting Nasova in the wall. She spins the 10, but turns it back around. Scott Bates and Arto Käkkinen doing battle. As they run into each other, they put Cameron Taylor in the wall. Bates and Käkkinen. Oh boy, this is going to be a heated one after this one's over. 1 lap to go here at the run in New York. Scott Bates, Arto Kekkonen doing battle. Nasova's still coming. I think she's making up the gap as quickly as she possibly can in that Lynx Racing car. Kekkonen trying to make his move on the inside of Scott Bates. They've got Ben Atkins in the way. They're going to try to split him. Scott Bates, no. Bates tries to box Kekkonen behind Atkins. Kekkonen saw it, trying to feint to the outside. Bates throws the block. Atkins stays out of the way. I think realizes what's going on around him. Going downhill, there's Nasova. She's coming. Nasova is coming. Kekkonen trying to make a move on Bates. Bates slides wide, going down the long back straightaway. The Finn pokes his nose on the inside. This could all end in tears. Bates trying to hold him off. Kekkonen trying to force Bates wide. And they're coming to, oh, they almost touch. Nasova's making up time. The 9 and the 88 are both a little sideways coming uphill. Nasova reeling them both in. Bates throws it into the left-hander here. Kekkonen makes it stick around the outside. Bates tries to fight back. Andersson's in the way. What does he do? Nasova's right behind the 88. Can she affect things? Is the 74 going to be a player? No. Arto Kekkonen finally gets the monkey off his back and wins his first race of the year. And in a wild finish at New York with Scott Bates and Yulia Nasova completing the podium. Carlos Riquetta came home 4th, and Joe Olenek, a fantastic run for Olenek, completed the top 5. Chris Davenport had no incidents practically the whole race, came home 6th. Frank Azure 7th. Tom Delgado, a quiet 8th, was actually the highest of the Lenards. Peter Short had no hood on that car, and he came home in 9th. And Luciano Savarol completed the top 10. Scheiter, Andersson, Ashby, Friel, and Davina Henton, the only other cars on the lead lap. Connor Friel was assessed a 30-second penalty for not obeying the black flag that he was given, which seems a bit odd, but it was determined that the chunk of ballast that was hit by Chris Davenport and by Adrian Devereaux, I should point out, came from the 94 car. Otherwise, Friel would have wound up 7th on the road. Disappointment for Friel to have gotten a penalty for that, but I think he can count himself lucky he didn't get disqualified. Cameron Taylor, Packer Carroll, pretty good race for the two of them. Stoiler, Ryan Matthews, and Gasper D'Souza complete the points finishers. A look at the Drivers' Championship shows that Adrian Devereaux's 28th place finish today is really hurting him because Luciano Savarol and Arto Kekkonen are really beginning to reel him in. Leonid Roderick and Melanie Clavino are tied for 4th, and Alessandro Rossini is sitting in 6th position, and they are the only drivers mathematically eligible for the Master Cup Series Drivers' Championship. And Alessandro Rossini is going to need a lot to happen for him to end up winning the championship this year. Scott Bates, D'Souza, Ashby, Henton, all mathematically eliminated. A quick look at the Independence Trophy shows that Ryan Matthews has taken over the top spot, and Frank Azure also made some fairly significant gains. If Matthews is going to be toppled for the Independence Trophy, I do believe it's going to require Hannah Percy to qualify for Decatur, and I'm not sure they feel very optimistic about qualifying for that race. The next time the series will be in action will be in the Chicago area for the 23rd round of the championship.